What if the very thing you fear the most is the thing that could finally set you free? We spend our lives gripping everything with white-knuckled tension: the future, other people's opinions, outcomes we can't predict, and situations we can't shape. Modern life tells you that peace comes from controlling more, but Stoicism whispers a harder truth. Peace comes from controlling less. Look around. Deadlines shift, people change their minds, plans fall apart without warning. And you walk around believing you're failing, when in reality you're just fighting a battle no human has ever won: the battle against uncertainty. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to bend the world to your will, your mind finally exhales. What collapses isn't your life, but your illusion of control, and that's exactly where your strength begins. Today, we'll walk through 7 Stoic truths that show you how to stay steady in a world that refuses to obey you. Because when everything feels out of control, something powerful happens inside you. You stop breaking and you start becoming. 1. You can't control 99% of life. Most of the anxiety you carry didn't come from life being cruel. It came from believing you were supposed to control things that were never yours. This belief is so deeply woven into the modern mind that we confuse tension with responsibility, overthinking with preparation, and fear with awareness. Step back for a moment and think about your day. You don't control the weather. You don't control the economy. You don't control traffic, delays, or the timing of opportunities. You don't control people's moods, loyalty, opinions, or decisions. You don't even control your own future with the precision you imagine. Yet you move through life as if all these variables should follow your expectations, and when they don't, you blame yourself for an inevitable collapse. The Stoics understood this long before psychology caught up. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control and others are not as comfort, but as a weapon. Because once you separate what is yours from what isn't, your mind stops bleeding energy into every corner of the world." Think about how many times you've stressed over a message that wasn't answered, a situation you replayed again and again, or an outcome you feared would go wrong, only for life to unfold exactly as it was meant to, with or without your worry. That's because worry never adds control, it only strengthens the illusion that you had some. Stoicism invites you to do something radical. Stop fighting uncertainty, stop wrestling with what you can't control, and stop assuming everything depends on you. Because the truth is, almost nothing does. When you truly grasp this, something shifts inside you. Instead of micromanaging the world, you start managing your energy. Instead of trying to prevent every bad outcome, you build the strength to face whatever arrives. Instead of clinging to what you can't command, you anchor yourself in the one thing you always possess: your response. Here's a simple exercise. Take a sheet of paper and write down 10 things you're currently stressed about. Then circle only the ones you can directly influence through your actions, not your hopes, not your fears, and not someone else's behavior. Most people discover that only 1 or 2 items remain. Those are your responsibilities. The rest are like weather patterns, unpredictable, uncontrollable, and not your burden to carry. When you stop demanding the world behave a certain way, the world stops breaking you. When you stop assuming everything is your job, your mind finally rests. Real power appears the moment you stop pretending you ever had total control. 2. Worry is a misuse of imagination. Worry feels productive. It feels like preparation, protection, like staying one step ahead of disaster. But in reality, worry is your imagination turned against you. It takes a mind built for creativity, problem-solving, and vision, and turns it into a machine that manufactures fear. Seneca said it perfectly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. and he wasn't exaggerating. Most of the things you've worried about never happened. The conversations you feared, the outcomes you rehearsed, the disasters you replayed in your mind, they existed only in imagination, yet your body reacted as if they were real. That's the tragedy. Your nervous system can't tell the difference between a real threat and a mental movie. Every time you overthink, you force yourself to experience pain that doesn't exist. You feel loss before losing anything, rejection before anyone rejects you, and failure before you even try. Worry doesn't protect you, it drains you before life even begins. Think about the times you stared at your phone waiting for a reply that never came, while your mind created explanation after explanation, none of them kind. Or the nights you lay awake imagining the worst-case scenario for tomorrow, only to find that when tomorrow arrived, it was normal, manageable, and nothing like the nightmare you survived in your head. That's the danger. Worry replaces reality with fiction and then convinces you the fiction is real. Stoicism teaches a sharper truth. Your imagination is either your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy, depending on what you feed it. Two people can face the same uncertainty, a job interview, a difficult conversation, an unexpected change. One imagines everything going wrong and becomes anxious and paralyzed. The other imagines themselves capable of adapting no matter what happens and remains calm and grounded. Same situation, different use of imagination, different life. Your worries don't feel heavy because the future is dark, but because you've trained your imagination to light it with fear. So here's a Stoic practice, a reality check. When worry appears, pause and ask yourself, is this happening right now? Do I have real evidence for this fear? Can I take action in this moment? If the answer is no, then what you're feeling isn't reality, it's imagination misused. Your mind is a powerful tool, a builder, a creator, a strategist. Stop handing it over to fear. Reclaim its strength. Every minute spent worrying is a minute you could have spent growing. Your imagination was meant to design your future, not destroy your present. 3. Chaos reveals your real strength. Most people believe strength is built in peaceful moments, in routines, comfort, and predictability. But real strength, the kind that shapes character, is revealed only when life stops cooperating. Chaos has a way of pulling off the mask you wear for the world. When everything is stable, it's easy to appear disciplined and confident. But when life shakes, when plans collapse, and when people disappoint you, that's when your true self steps forward. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle becomes the way, not because he romanticized suffering, but because he understood something timeless." Chaos isn't here to break you, it's here to introduce you to the parts of yourself you haven't developed yet. Think about the moments in your life that changed you most. They weren't comfortable or predictable. They were moments of uncertainty, loss, heartbreak, rejection, sudden change. Maybe it was the job you thought you'd keep forever until one meeting changed everything. Maybe it was the relationship you believed was unshakable until it fractured without warning. Maybe it was a dream you held tightly until life forced a detour you never asked for. In those moments, you probably felt fragile, unprepared, and overwhelmed. But look at you now. You didn't just survive, you evolved. That's the hidden power of chaos. It strengthens you without asking for permission, revealing resilience you didn't know you had, and forcing you to confront what truly belongs to you, your choices, mindset, character, and what never did. Stoicism doesn't ask you to love chaos, it teaches you to use it. When life becomes unpredictable, you have two options: resist and suffer, or enter it with presence, humility, and courage, letting it refine you. Here's a practical exercise. Write down 3 moments in your life that you thought would break you. Next to each one, Note the unexpected strength you gained because of it. Patience, courage, emotional clarity, independence, self-respect, resilience, a new direction. Chaos isn't the villain, it's the mentor you never wanted but desperately needed. Remember, when the ground shakes beneath you, it doesn't mean you're losing everything. It means you're being invited to stand on something more solid, yourself. Chaos didn't destroy you before, and it won't now. It simply reveals the depth of your strength, layer by layer, truth by truth. Chaos doesn't break you. It shows you who you were meant to become. 4. Release what doesn't belong to you. One of the biggest sources of human suffering is simple: carrying things that were never yours to carry. You carry people's disappointment as if it's your failure, their anger as if it's your responsibility, and outcomes you can't control as if worrying could rewrite them. You carry society's expectations instead of the choices your soul agreed to. No wonder life feels heavy. Stoicism teaches a liberating truth. You are responsible for your actions, not others' emotional reactions. You are responsible for your choices, not the version of you someone invented in their mind. You are responsible for your integrity, not their interpretation. Somewhere along the way, though, we start believing that if someone is upset, we must have done something wrong. If someone judges us, we must fix it. If someone leaves, we must chase. This is how we lose ourselves, by treating everyone's emotions as debts we must pay. Marcus Aurelius hinted at this freedom when he wrote, "If it's not yours, don't hold it." He meant the mental weight, the emotional storms, and expectations that were never meant to live inside you. Think of the relationships where you walked on eggshells, trying to guess what someone wanted, changing yourself to avoid conflict, or controlling their reaction to avoid losing them. The truth is brutal. If approval can be lost because you stopped performing, you never had their respect, only their conditions. Think about the outcomes you try to control, the success of a project, the future of your career, the stability of your plans. You treat them like possessions, but they aren't owned. They are influenced, shaped, co-created by forces far beyond you. Releasing what doesn't belong to you isn't giving up. It's giving back the weight that was never yours. Here's a Stoic exercise. Write down 4 things you're holding that drain your energy. Someone's opinion, guilt for what you cannot change, pressure to be someone you're not, or the outcome of a situation you already did your best in. Draw a line through each one and say aloud, "This is not mine to carry." Feel the relief in your body, the quiet exhale as your mind stops clutching what it cannot command. This is letting go, walking away from false ownership, not responsibility, abandoning emotional debts that were never yours. When you stop holding what doesn't belong to you, something miraculous happens. Your strength returns, clarity sharpens, and your path becomes visible again. You are responsible for your actions, not their reactions. 5. Clarity matters more than control. Most people think they're stressed because life is out of control, but the deeper truth is, they're stressed because life is unclear. Uncertainty doesn't overwhelm you. Ambiguity does, when you don't know what truly matters. Everything feels urgent. When you don't know your priorities, everything feels like a threat. When you don't know what to let go of, everything becomes your responsibility. Clarity, not control, creates peace. Stoicism teaches that the mind becomes chaotic when it tries to manage too much, and modern life doesn't help. Endless notifications and shifting expectations make it worse, scattering your focus and energy. Everyone is asking for your attention, time, and energy. You try to hold all the pieces together, not realizing the real enemy isn't the chaos outside, it's the lack of clarity inside. Seneca captured this perfectly. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. In other words, if you don't know where you're going, every obstacle feels personal. Every delay feels like failure, and if you don't know what truly matters, you try to control everything. Clarity is the cure. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed. You probably said, "I have too much to do." But look closer. Was it really too much? Or had you simply not decided what truly deserved your focus? Overwhelm doesn't come from having many tasks. It comes from treating all tasks as equal. The same goes for relationships. When your boundaries are unclear, you become hyper-aware of everyone's emotions, monitoring reactions, over-interpreting silences, overthinking small comments. Not because people are unpredictable, but because you haven't defined what's acceptable, what's not, and who truly belongs in your inner circle. Clarity simplifies life in a way control never can. Here's a truth. When you are clear about your values, 80% of life's problems disappear. Decisions make themselves. Noise falls away. Peace appears. Here's your Stoic practice. Every morning, ask yourself 3 questions. What are the 3 most important things I can control today? What must I stop worrying about because it's not mine? What value will guide my actions? Discipline, patience, courage, or integrity? Answer honestly. Your day aligns. You stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable. Stop negotiating with distractions and stop drowning in imagined emergencies. Life feels manageable, not because it changed, but because you finally see it clearly. Clarity leads to confidence. Confidence leads to calm. Calm leads to strength. Control was never the goal, clarity was. Clarity doesn't give control, it gives freedom. 6. Letting go is a strategic decision. Most people think letting go is emotional, but it's far more powerful. It's a calculated, intentional decision about where your life is allowed to go. Not weakness, not avoidance, not giving up, it's precision. Stoicism teaches that life becomes unbearable not because of what happens, but because of what we refuse to release. The mind clings to people, outcomes, timelines, expectations, identities, even when they quietly drain our energy. We hold on because it feels familiar, not because it's right. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." Modern extension, if it no longer supports your growth, don't carry it. Letting go is active, disciplined self-respect. Ask yourself, how many things are you still holding because you're afraid of what will happen if you release them? A relationship that drains more than it nourishes. A job that boosts your ego but kills your joy. A version of yourself you outgrew years ago. A dream from a past chapter. A grudge keeping your heart imprisoned. We hold these things not because they help us, but because they once meant something, and the mind confuses past meaning with future necessity. Stoicism breaks this illusion. Letting go is not abandonment, it's alignment. You release not because you don't care, but because you finally do. You refuse to pour energy into things that won't give anything back. Letting go is strategic energy allocation. Every time you hold on, you pay a hidden cost. Clarity, discipline, emotional bandwidth, opportunities that require an empty hand. Holding on is expensive, it costs your peace. Stoicism flips the question entirely. Instead of asking, "What will I lose if I let go?" ask, "What is it costing me to hold on?" That single question has ended more suffering than any therapy, advice, or motivation. Letting go is not emotional surrender, it's emotional intelligence. People think letting go means you stop caring, but that's not true. Letting go means you stop trying to control someone who doesn't want to change. You stop arguing with reality instead of responding to it. You stop negotiating with potential instead of honoring evidence. You stop forcing what clearly isn't flowing. You stop believing your life can only work if this one thing works. Letting go means you choose peace over fantasy, truth over attachment, dignity over desperation. You stop dancing for approval. You stop shrinking for acceptance. You stop bending your backbone to keep something that doesn't keep you. Letting go is strategy because it forces evolution. Once you release what weighs you down, you create space for what lifts you up. New relationships, new opportunities, a new identity, a life that fits who you truly are. Letting go is a doorway disguised as an ending. It's the reset button life gives when you've held on too tightly for too long. Here's your Stoic exercise. Identify the one thing you must release. Sit in silence for 1 minute and ask yourself honestly, what am I afraid to let go of? Deep down, you know life will improve without it. It might be a person, a belief, a plan, or a version of yourself. Write it down, then write one sentence. I release what no longer reflects who I am becoming. You don't need massive action today. Releasing begins in the mind long before it happens in the world. Letting go isn't losing. It's strategic. It's a declaration of who you refuse to be anymore. It's choosing where your life goes next. 7. Your character is the only real control. Life eventually forces everyone to confront this quiet truth. You control almost nothing except the kind of person you choose to be. Everything else is borrowed. Plans can collapse overnight. Status can shift in a conversation. Relationships can change without warning. Health, comfort, stability, all temporary, all fragile. But your character, your discipline, patience, courage, integrity, no one can take that from you. Not chaos, not circumstance, not even fate. That's why Stoicism places character above everything else. Epictetus said it clearly, no man is free who is not master of himself. You cannot control life, but you can control the self that meets life. That difference determines whether you crumble or rise. Think about your hardest moments. What got you through? Control or character? You didn't survive heartbreak because the situation changed. You survived because you adapted. You didn't endure loss because the pain vanished. You endured because you stayed present. You didn't overcome difficulty because fate gave a break. You overcame because your perseverance outlasted the storm. Character is the real control. In a world obsessed with changing circumstances, Stoicism flips the perspective. Instead of commanding the world, command yourself. Instead of bending life, build a self that can handle life exactly as it is. Character is built in quiet decisions no one sees, choosing patience over reaction, discipline over excuses, truth over comfort, courage over fear, integrity over convenience. Every choice strengthens the only control that truly matters. Here's a modern example. Two people lose the same opportunity. One blames the world, harbors resentment, closes off, becomes bitter. The other grieves, accepts, adjusts, learns, rebuilds. Same event, different character, different outcome, different life. This is Stoicism. Life does what life does. You decide who you become in response. Your Stoic practice: choose one virtue to embody fully for the next 24 hours. Not all of them, just one. Courage in one conversation, patience with someone difficult, discipline with a habit you've been avoiding, honesty when lying is easier. Pick the virtue that scares you most. That's the one you need. Every day you live by a virtue, you reclaim a piece of your inner power. Piece by piece, you build a self no chaos can shake. Here's the ultimate paradox. When you stop trying to control life, you gain control over the only thing that ever mattered: your character. Control your character and you will never feel powerless again. Look back at everything we explored. A pattern emerges. Your suffering never came from life being chaotic. It came from believing you had to stop the chaos. Life was never asking you to control it. It was asking you to meet it with clarity, courage, and discipline. You learned you can't control 99% of life, yet you're still safe. You learned worry is misused imagination. Chaos reveals your strength. Releasing what isn't yours is self-respect. Clarity brings peace. Letting go is strategy. And character is the only real control you'll ever truly possess. This is the Stoic paradox. When everything is out of control, you are closest to the truth. The world outside will always shift, collapse, rebuild, change. But the world inside, the one you choose to cultivate, that's where your power lives. Take one truth from this video and practice it today. Not all 7, just one. Transformation begins with a single disciplined choice. Live it, not as philosophy, but as a way of being. You don't need to control life to be steady, you only need to control yourself. I choose clarity over control.